What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So this is the nonsense that once again we get from Stephen A. Smith. Okay? So I saw they did a segment debating. Well, I saw his vantage point, what he had to say. I haven't listened to what Swag, whoever his name is. I'm gonna have to listen to what he had to say and maybe do a video about that. But I just want to listen to what Stephen A. Smith had to say. Um, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, Lamar Jackson was asked whether or not there still was a bias against black quarterbacks. Okay? And his exact quotes were, it's dying off, but yet it's still there. It's still there, and that's why I want to win a championship. That's what he said. It's not crime. It ain't using it as a crutch. He acknowledged that it's still there. Okay? Acknowledging its existence. It's funny, every other fucking race in this country gets to acknowledge some sort of preset bias against them, except for us. When we acknowledge the truth, it somehow turned into crying about something. Even though, if I'm not mistaken, we're the only fucking group in this country that was ever mass enslaved. But yet, when we complain about any fucking thing, it's crime. But you got people who still to this day won't accept a fucking election result. So here comes Stephen A. Smith. When I knew his game plan. I have this guy down pat. I know how he taps a jig. I knew he was going to do it. So the first thing he did was bring up LeBron James and Magna Carta and how he needs to educate and school Lamar Jackson. And then he equated Lamar Jackson to Antonio Brown. Lord have mercy. You equated Lamar Jackson, because he looks like a nigga, right? And you equated him to Antonio Brown. You are the biggest joke on national television, and I wish I could tell you in your goddamn face. You are a clown, and you're a fucking joke. First of all, the NFL audience is 2/3 majority, okay? He's aware of that. He knows how a lot of people don't like LeBron James, so he interjects LeBron James, a basketball player, into an argument talking about the NFL. He knows exactly what he's doing. And he castigated and belittled Lamar Jackson. I don't want to hear that. We want to hear results. And then, like a you know what that rhymes with moon, he brings up Lamar Jackson's salary. Like they got anything to do with the fuck he said. I'm tired of this. Any group in this country can bring up something that happened 80 years ago that we had nothing to do with, and always use that as an excuse for anything to be said against them. Oh, it's always something against them. How can you not say that there's still not some systemic racism toward black quarterbacks? People criticize Lamar Jackson saying he's not a real quarterback, right? Meanwhile, when Tim Tebow was doing what he does on a lesser level, it was Tebow mania. Uh, Tim Tebow was revolutionary. Tim Tebow did something we had never seen before. You hadn't seen Randall Cunningham do it better. Cordell Stewart do it better. Uh, Mike Vick do it better. But when Tim Tebow was mediocre, mediocrity around the NFL, somehow it was some revolutionary bullshit. So you can kiss my ass. Now, yes, there is a new influx of black quarterbacks, and it's a great thing, okay? And it's not the same stigma it once was. However, you have a Philip Rivers who was mediocre as far as success his entire career, and no one ever talked about he needed to be benched. Cam Newton, however, went from being a Super Bowl quarterback to potentially being like a guy that may be on his way out of the league because he didn't have a couple of seasons of success. People already talking about Russell Wilson need to be traded, even though he's a Super Bowl champion. But a guy like Trent Dilfer can stay in the league 10, 13 years and be a bum. I just this the inconsistency from this dude is ridiculous. So Lamar Jackson bringing up that there's still a little bit of bias toward black quarterbacks. That's shameful. But you get to talk about how there's no black coaches in the NFL. That's fine. Even though one of them you got fired your damn self, Marvin Lewis. I'm just tired of the bullshit, man. Someone asked him a question. He gave a reasonable answer. He didn't cry and say, "Oh, woe is me." He just said, "Yeah, it's still there, but it's not what it once was." That's a reasonable answer. Here comes Stephen A. Smith. Oh, 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 oh. Sick of this dude, man. You can look at the bias by how these fucking black journalists cover them. You would, and that's the crazy thing. Aaron Rodgers is a supreme prima donna, absolute prima donna, who hasn't won a goddamn thing in over a decade. Has he not? Oh, he puts up great numbers. Oh, he wins MVPs. But has he won anything? How many embarrassing playoff exits has he had? Right? But people say, oh, he's top four all time. Lamar Jackson's been in the league, what, 3 years? And people already demanding that he needs to win a title. You don't see the inconsistency in that? People already saying he's not a real quarterback and maybe he needs to be moved to another position. That's what he's talking about. So get out of here, man. You're the clown, man.